In whitewater kayaking, we have a standard classification system for the different levels of rapids. We have classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and class 6. 1 is going to be the easiest rapids and the safest in the case of emergency. They are classified based on the level of difficulty to actually stay in your kayak and run the rapid, and the level of hazard or danger to the swimmer if you were to fall out of your kayak. As I said, class 1 is going to be your easiest rapids. It's going to be generally a wide river with the clear route, easy to take with the main flow of water. It's going to have relatively few obstacles and small rapids that are not difficult or crazy. Class 2 rapids are going to be a little bit larger, perhaps a little bit more unclear on the proper routes to take, and Class 2 rapids are going to have a little bit more danger to the swimmer if you were to fall out of your kayak, but will still be relatively safe. Class 3 rapids, now you're at a solid intermediate level. You've got quite a few more rocks. You also have larger rapids, and it's going to be more difficult for a swimmer if you were to fall out of your kayak. It's possible that you will need a land-based rescue with rescue ropes, and self-rescue is going to be a lot more difficult in Class 3 rapids. Class 4 rapids are upper intermediate, perhaps even expert. You have a lot of obstacles, large rapids, you have drops quite often going down the river. It's going to be nearly impossible to self-rescue. You're going to need help to get yourself rescued if you're swimming, and there is a threat to your life as well. Class 5 rapids are going to be your absolute expert level. You're not going to want to attempt these if you're not an experienced kayaker. You're going to have massive rapids, lots of rocks. You're going to have sieves, strainers, large drops. Self-rescue is going to be very difficult. Class 5 rapids may require scouting beforehand, and the danger to the individual is going to be very high. Class 6 rapids, some people debate if they even exist, I believe. Class 6 rapids are generally agreed upon as impossible, unrunnable rapids that are just too dangerous to be ran. Examples might be the Niagara Falls. So y'all are out on a little creek right now. You're looking out ahead of you downstream. Do y'all see the water ahead of you? You probably don't. That's because there's a massive drop or waterfall in front of you. All you can see is the horizon. That's known as a horizon line. When you can't keep seeing the water and all you can see is the horizon in front of you, it's because there is a waterfall or drop ahead. Have y'all ever heard the term an upstream and downstream V? What those are is the downstream V is the normal flow of water down a rapid. So if you see right here, the way the water is kind of flowing down that rapid, looks kind of maybe like a V, doesn't it there? And downstream V, because the point of the V is headed downstream. A downstream V, when you're kayaking, is where you want to go. That's the main flow of water. But when there is a rock, like this one, that rock will block the water and create an upstream V. So if you're paddling and you see an upstream V, it might look like a really good time that'll jostle you around, and it will jostle you around because there's a massive rock right there that's creating the upstream V, possibly right underneath the water, sometimes above it. But the really dangerous thing is when there's a rock that is completely submerged by the water and a little kayaker decides he wants to go to the upstream V, and he gets stuck on the rock, or even worse, he goes to the upstream V, hits the rock, flips his kayak, and then gets pushed into the downstream V upside down and drowned. I really like the ocean, and I really like surfing and waves and water and fun times. However, kayakers love waves too. And see here, you've got a little downstream V that you want to go down, as in the video previously. Well, just past the downstream V are some extremely mini waves that are just created by the flow of currents. I wish there was kind of some rapids with the waves breaking over the top of each other and some white caps, which you'll get in bigger rapids. This is too tiny, unfortunately, but we're just gonna imagine there's some white there on top of the waves from it breaking over the top of itself. Waves, they can be a great time. Waves, kayakers love waves. They add fun to the experience. Waves are good. If you didn't have waves, you might as well be on flat water. Kayakers, whitewater kayakers, love waves. So, we have something tragic that has happened here. There's a massive undercut rock, and this poor bottle / kayaker didn't know what an undercut rock was. So he approached it going down the rapid trying to send it, and he really liked the look of the route, but he didn't know what an undercut rock is. So he came down the water, got stuck on the undercut rock, and now he is drowned. An undercut rock is basically a single rock that the water keeps flowing around and you get stuck underneath it, and the water keeps going almost like a strainer, but you get stuck and you drown underneath the undercut rock because the water is able to flow but you're not. And that is what happened to our poor little bottle / kayaker. This is our little kayaker here, and he is deciding to surf the waves with expert form. And now he is continuing on down the river after surfing the wave. I don't have a throw rope. What I do have is worms and my best friend Colbin. In case you're wondering what worms are, worms is an acronym that stands for water. We've got water here. We got a little rapid right here. See this rapid? Ooh, that's dangerous, yeah. And then we've got water, which is the first letter of our acronym. We've got an obstacle down here, a big massive boulder that's trying to drown us. That's our obstacle. Water, obstacle. We've got our routes. We're gonna throw a stick into this water pretty soon, and that stick is a miniature kayaker that's going to be going down our water route here. And we want to take, if you look at the direction of the flow of water, we want to take river right, on the right side of the river. We want to go down river right. Then, once we get down the barely not even class 1 rapids, the stick is going to hit our obstacle and our safety, which stands for S, Mr. Colbin here, is going to save it. But how does it know where river right is and where it wants to turn for the rapids? That is the M in worms, marker. See this massive tree here, also known as a blade of grass? This massive tree, also known as a blade of grass, is going to be our marker so that the kayaker knows where to go. Are y'all ready to see a stick, also known as a kayak, go down the last one? All right, the stick is going. Do y'all see it? I'm not sure y'all see it. I can't see it. The stick is stuck on, grab a stick. The stick got stuck. The person was drowning, and our safety saved it after the stick got stuck on the obstacle. He went down the route. He used his marker to find which part of the river or the water he wanted to go down. He got stuck on the obstacle, and he was saved by the safety. That is worms. Water, obstacle, route, marker, and safety. Oh yeah. So do y'all see this beautiful water here coming down? This beautiful water is a rapid, but there's a rock. There's a rock, and then over here behind the rock is an eddy with some backwards flow of water. But what is an eddy line? An eddy line is what we have right here. This weird backwards flow area where the water doesn't really know what direction it's going. So the eddy line is one of the most dangerous common spots for kayakers, because if you get stuck in the eddy line and you don't do a proper peel out or catch an eddy properly, the crazy waves that are obviously not in this tiny little rapid could end up flipping your kayak. So yeah, that's an eddy line. Beautiful, isn't it? A strainer is exactly what it sounds like. If you take a kitchen utensil and some pasta and you put the pasta in the strainer and let water flow through it, the water will keep flowing, but the pasta will get stuck. In the situation of whitewater kayaking, if you get caught in a strainer outside of your boat, you are the pasta and the water is the water, and you'll drown inside of the brush because the water will be pushing up against you and you can't swim out, but the water keeps flowing past you and you kind of get stuck in the strainer, which is made of brush and leaves and debris in the middle of a river. Hydraulics are wonderful things in whitewater kayaking. Hydraulics are the washing machines, and you would be the clothes. What hydraulics are is they are formed by water pouring over a high ledge and then forming a hole underneath the water, and it creates a circulating motion of water going around and around in a circle that will trap you underwater and in the water until you eventually drown in the washing machine. There are two kinds of hydraulics. There are the smiling hydraulic and the frowning hydraulic. The smiling hydraulics are generally considered to be more dangerous than the frowning hydraulics because they trap you more efficiently. As the water bounces around to the edges, it recirculates back in and creates a more effective trap, whereas the frowning hydraulic releases you easier and quicker and does not hold you as strongly. An eddy is a great place to rest along the side of a river. It's created when forward-moving water going downstream hits a rock and then bounces backward, flowing upstream. Eddies are a great place, like I said, for kayakers to rest alongside the river as the water flows back upstream and is slower. However, the eddy lines are a very turbulent spot in between the upstream flowing water of the eddy and the downstream flowing water to the side. And that turbulent water is called the eddy line, in between where the water continues flowing downstream and the eddy. A sieve is simply a strainer but made with rocks instead of sticks and brush.